Hello and welcome to Ninqueso Live, episode 9. We are nearly in double figures. That's crazy. I am joined by my co-host, the nature girl, Miss Bree. Woo!
Woohoo! Elvis is in the building.
You need to strut.
Good evening, bestie.
Good evening.
Nice to see you, kind of.
I know, I've not seen you in like ages. We've missed Donut Friday, we missed Donut Monday that you said would happen.
I know. I would blame, it's that kind of year. I've been sniffly. You were sniffly though, weren't you? You missed a stream. You missed streaming because you were sniffly, and I was like, oh my God, he's on death's door.
I was just run down. I was just like, I dragged myself out of bed about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Thought, I can't teach class today. So I cancelled all that. And then it was like, my stream scheduled for like 11 o'clock at night. I should be fine for that. And it got to about 8:30. I was like, I don't want to do a stream. I'm going to lie on the sofa. I'm going to grab my duvet and lie on the sofa. Feel sorry for myself.
Feel sorry for yourself. Yeah. Was Kelly snuggling up with you?
She did the other day, the first day when it got cold. She learned
that, highly unusual.
This human here, if I sit on his lap, I get heat.
Woo!
It's taken her 9 years to work this out, but eventually she has.
She's been a bit standoffish, hasn't she?
She's very standoffish. She was on stream today. I picked her up and showed her to the camera, and she looked at it like, "What are you doing?" And I put her down.
Yeah, I did pop into your stream briefly, but I didn't see Kelly.
No, it was right at the end. It's like a bonus for everyone that stays right till the end.
Okay. So what have you been playing this week? You've got exciting news because it's more than Fall Guys, and I should just say you still haven't got a crown.
I've been very close. I qualified on Slime Climb today, though.
Oh my God!
Not only did I qualify, I made it look easy. I know.
The boy was watching.
One of the people
he was very excited about it.
Yeah, one of the people that was watching clipped it and posted it onto the page because it was just that good. The next time I got there, I didn't get through, but you know. So I've been playing lots of Fall Guys on the stream. I've been tinkering with other games. Got back into Warzone, had a couple of goes on that.
That was hilarious.
Managed to run someone over, which I love running people over in Warzone.
Yes, you posted that clip, haven't you? I've seen it.
I did.
I've watched it about 6 or 7 times.
I've played Fortnite a couple of times as well.
I saw that.
And a bit of Spellbreak. And it's like, it's still just okay Spellbreak. It's got potential. But I did some streaming on Twitch yesterday, and I streamed some Skyrim.
Oof.
Skyrim with permadeath rules.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, 1 death, that's it. I'm out. Gone. Dead. Quit the game. It's over. Start again.
Nice. I hardly ever die in Skyrim, and I would just like to say I have actually got on my Xbox this week, but I had to do it sneakily while he was at work.
What did you play?
I played Skyrim, and I did a bit of SSX 3 tricky.
Yeah.
But I haven't had the time because he is almost full time now. I think I need to get him an account on Twitch. I haven't had the time to even get into my Game Pass, which I'm quite excited about some stuff that's on there this month.
That runs out soon, doesn't it? You only got a month.
I know. I've still got 20 days left.
I know. We still need to schedule a stream together.
I know. I need to prize him off the Xbox.
I think we need to do Warzone. You need to get Warzone working, and we need to do that.
Yeah. You know how I like extreme violence,
exactly.
So I can see me being good at that. Exactly. I'm your person, really.
Yeah. That's what we
anyway, shall we get on with it?
No, let's not. Let's just go home.
Let's just go home and go to bed.
I'm already home. Okay, we got that quick news, the kind of news that was worth a mention, but we don't really want to talk about. Super Mario 3D. I can't speak today. God, Super Mario 3D All-Stars remains top for a second week in the UK charts. Thus, that's probably like shedding some of the fears that they wouldn't have much stock.
You cynic.
And the Animal Crossing Nintendo Switch exclusive edition and the Amiibo cards are getting restocked. So if you really wanted an Animal Crossing Switch, they're back again, because obviously they sold out pretty quick when they were released earlier in the year.
And that'd be popular.
Yeah, it will go again. The Xbox Series X and S 1TB SSD expansion cards are officially priced at £220 or $220. See,
That's not the same thing. What's that about?
What do you mean that's not the same thing?
£220 is not $220.
Exactly. We're like getting a bump on there.
What's happened with the exchange rate?
Oh, I think it's got something to do with the fact that, do you know games are going up to $70? They're also going up to £70.
That's outrageous.
Before, in the UK, games were $59.90, were like $49.99, and in America they were $60. So they're £50 in the UK, $60 in America. So we're getting a £20 increase on the price of games for next gen.
Outrageous.
It's a lot. It's a lot of money. People need to think about these things before they buy these new consoles.
Mm-hmm.
Which they're not going to get because everyone's sending out information saying
Tell me about the Xbox app.
Microsoft's new Xbox app will let you stream Xbox One games to your iPhone. So that's not using the game cloud, the X Cloud. It's actually whatever games you've got installed on your Xbox One. As long as you are on the same Wi-Fi network as it, you'll be able to stream it to your phone. So I don't understand why you just wouldn't switch the Xbox One on.
Well, because the Xbox might be downstairs or you're perhaps in the bath.
Who plays phones in their bath?
I do.
I'd drop it.
Yeah, you would. I've never dropped my phone in the bath.
No, not
I would play it in the
because
bath.
I don't have, well, to be fair, I don't even have a bath.
Or I'd just like to mention some boys might like to play while they're, in the bathroom doing something else.
Ew, that's disgusting.
Yeah, but boys do that sort of thing.
I don't. Sega is reviving Virtua Fighter for a new mystery project.
Mystery.
Dum 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 dum.
It's a mystery.
It's going to be a fighting game, isn't it?
Doom Eternal.
And Doom Eternal is coming to Xbox Game Pass on October 1st. So is that 2 or 3 days away?
To pay for it, yes.
Well, it'll be there. You'll still be in your free trial.
That's right, it will be, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I'm doing that.
29th today, isn't it? So it's a 30. It's a 31 days in September. I can't remember.
30 days hath September.
30 days. Awesome, because that means that's only 2 days away then.
Woo.
And Mario 35 comes out that day as well. So that'll be something to stream. And Fall Guys Season 2 starts next Monday.
And the countdown is on for you to get a crown before
that
Season
happens.
2 starts.
So we can only hope.
Crush your
only
fingers.
hope.
I can't take the level of disappointment if it doesn't happen. Contrarily, I don't think I can stand the celebration level that will happen amongst your followers if you hit a crown, because some of them, I swear, just can't cope.
They'll get more excited than me.
Probably. You're a little bit,
I need like some party poppers for when it happens.
Laid back. Yeah, you need that. You need to get something, like some kind of pyrotechnic. Although, yeah, perhaps not, since it set America on fire, didn't it, pyrotechnics?
Yeah, but party poppers, They're no pyrotechnics.
Yeah, party poppers. That's the way to go.
Okay.
So, into our main news, and the first one we're going to do is a roundup of the Tokyo Game Show.
Yes, we're not covering everything because there was loads of stuff, and lots of it is kind of like
there was a lot of stuff.
Japanesey and probably not there. It's probably not even going to come out for the Western audience. So we're kind of just going over the big things that were announced for the Nintendo Switch. Because
some of the interesting things, really, I think that's what we should cover. So, Monster Hunter Rise, that was on there quite heavily.
We heard about that at the partner showcase.
We did.
The other week.
You streamed that, didn't you? So people who are interested can go back and have a look at that. But they definitely were very much pushing this on this.
So we're actually on Nintendo Live for all our information here. So if you want to pop over to their website, you'll be able to see trailers for everything here. We got a new trailer for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, which is coming out the 20th of November. Just a couple of days. Just a couple of days for my birthday.
Woohoo!
And yes, it does look really good. It's obviously, I think most people know what this is about. It's set 100 years before Breath of the Wild, and it's about how the war with Ganon went really badly and they lost. So there's lots of big epic battles. But unlike most Warrior games, there seems to be a lot more like exploration and things in it, which is something you don't normally get in Warrior games. They're normally just like big hack and slash things. So, and then obviously we had the...
So my pick next for what's probably going to go well.
Monster Hunter Rise.
Puyo
Puyo Tetris
2.
You're very cutty outy at the moment.
Yeah. Am I?
yeah,
Sorry
Puyo
about that.
Puyo Tetris 2, which is the sequel to Puyo Puyo Tetris.
I think this will be very popular.
Apparently,
Tetris is always one of those
yeah,
that goes well.
Tetris is a good game, and Puyo Puyo is another pretty good game. Obviously, when it first came out back on the Sega Mega Drive in the West, they didn't think Puyo Puyo would really people would be like, "What is that?" So it was called Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Of course.
So yeah, so it's a combination of Tetris and Puyo Puyo. So yeah, I'd never played the first one. I'm sure people are gonna go mad for this because that's the kind of thing people do. So it's like, yeah.
What else out
can
of
you
this
say?
did you have a look at?
I think we've got an interesting one here. Is Galagun Returns, which is it's a bit of a dodgy title. It's a dodgy Japanese game. Let's be honest.
It's a very, very dodgy Japanese game.
And I think the interesting thing about this is it's a remake of the original. But the interesting thing is that it's actually coming to Nintendo, but it's not coming to PlayStation because of the censorship that Sony has imposed on it. So,
and I'm not surprised, honestly.
Yeah,
because
it is a little bit. It's very.
it's walking the line.
I don't even want to really say. I mean, I do have a dodgy Japanese game on my on my Switch.
Yeah, I think we can say it's all around the issue of consent.
Yeah. It is one of those things. Death Smiles 1 and 2 is coming out in Japan 2021. Don't really know anything about that. Destiny Warriors 9 Empires is coming out early 2021. I think this is a more traditional Warriors game. So not only have Koei Tecmo been working on Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, they've also been doing another Destiny Warriors game.
They've been busy boys.
They have been busy bees. Yeah. The trailer's not really showing much. It's much more like a cinematic than anything there. And then we're kind of just going on to the weird Japanese stuff. Attila Ryzen 2, the Asta Collection, Jump Force DLC, which isn't meant to be a particularly good fighting game anyway. A load of anime people. But yeah, that's kind of all that really sort of stuck out for me on the Switch. I think a lot of it is obviously Japanese stuff, but that's because it's the Japanese game.
Yeah,
first.
it was aimed at their market, wasn't it? Let's be honest about that. So it's hardly surprising.
I mean, I know Xbox had a good showing there, and apparently all the pre-orders for Xbox in Japan have actually sold out.
Oh,
which,
really?
seen as I think lifetime sales of the Xbox One in Japan is something like 200,000. They've not really.
Well, I guess they just got to get what they can. And after the car crash of last week, I expect it's don't mess with it because we're already struggling.
Yeah, so we'll see how they go this generation. Hopefully, they'll do better for them because obviously they don't have a lot of money. Xbox, Microsoft. Cool.
Probably not.
Then
Let's talk about Amazon, shall we?
no, because that's not the order.
Oh,
You can go to Amazon if you want. Fine.
I want to talk about Amazon because I was quite excited about this.
Really? You're excited about this? I'm not.
I was.
I'm not at all.
Cloud gaming service Luna, $5.99 for early access, and it's instant play on a variety of devices, so PC, mobiles, and their Fire device. Well, the reason I thought this was interesting really is because iOS devices are going to access it through a web app so that they can bypass the Apple pricing system, which we talked about last week.
Do you not remember me saying way back when, it's like, why can't xCloud just run through the Safari? Well, why does it have to have an app on there?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, for me, it was like, go on. Sorry,
it's up to 2 devices at once. It's 4K resolution, 60 frames per second refresh for selected titles, and they've got access to new titles after launch. They've got a specialist Luna controller, but it also supports the Xbox. And I did think, there's a lot of good stuff coming to this because initially there's some good games: Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Far Cry 6, Immortals Phoenix.
Sorry, the Luma controller is so like a Nintendo Switch Pro controller. It is just unreal.
Yeah, for those of us listening on podcast, Farron is holding up a Luna controller,
No,
which literally is identical.
This is a Nintendo Switch controller.
Yes, Switch controller.
Luna controller's on the screen. Yeah, it looks just like it with an extra button on there.
Yeah, it is. So to me, I was like, oh, I could try this. I might sort of get onto this, because if we don't manage to get an additional Xbox, I'm still going to be fighting the boif.
I mean, for me,
so I might be able to bypass.
For me, it was like the fact that this Amazon's $1 trillion company, isn't it? This multi-trillion dollar company is jumping into the streaming services, and they are bringing an amazing exclusive title of, hang on, they're not bringing any exclusives. You can play all of these and other things. They're not investing any money into it whatsoever. It's just kind of like, yeah, here's some games, give us money. And I think one of the other things that you've not touched upon is, this is in early access, which you said.
Yeah.
When it launches, they're going to start releasing other channels that you have to pay for at additional costs.
Yeah. Well, they're bundling it all together, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they're going to make it part of, the Fire
well, no,
device.
because you're going to have to pay the standard $4.99 or whatever it is when it releases. But things like there's going to be like an Ubisoft channel where you have to pay more for the Ubisoft channel.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair to them, this totally makes Stadia totally irrelevant now. Because
that's one of the things I was going to say, because it's so similar to Stadia, but it just is going to wipe them off the planet.
Their business model works because it's like you're paying a subscription and you can play all the games. Stadia, you can get onto it for nothing, but you have to buy the games.
Yeah.
And I don't see how Stadia can even counter this now, because what can they do? If they turn around and went, oh, you now pay $4.99 a month for Stadia, then all these people that have spent money on games are like, hang on, I've just spent £60 on this game.
Yeah.
So I think
I don't see where they can go with this.
Yeah, Stadia's
But the
irrelevant.
marketplace is evolving very, very quickly. So all the things that we've talked about in the last couple of months with, lawsuits and pricing structures and launches, I think we're seeing a fundamental upheaval of the gaming world here.
Yeah, it's a new time, isn't it? And
it is.
And the streaming wars are about to begin.
I think so. Anyway, so that's why I wanted to talk about that first and foremost, really, because I feel we're getting to the next stage of gaming very shortly.
I don't want streaming.
Why?
Because I like to be able to do this. Oh, I own a game.
Oh, God, really?
Yes.
This was like back in the day when people used to have like those shelves in their living room and all their DVDs stacked up on them, taking up space.
I've still got my DVDs.
Yes.
Do you remember when you were in quarantine? You were like, "Can we borrow some DVDs, please?"
Yes, but that's because we've only got Netflix. We don't have any other TV.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I would just like to say that I didn't do it then. I didn't buy DVDs then because I always felt like if I've seen it, I don't want to watch it again. Apart from maybe 4 or 5 titles.
Yeah, but the problem I think with streaming, and this is going on actually from, there's a game coming out October 1st, Mario 35, which is only available until March. And then the game's gone. And at any point on these streaming services, they can just take the games away. And you'll never see, and you may potentially never see them again.
Well, that's a problem because there are some games which you come back to over and over again. And I think there are some games I wouldn't, but then again, I mean, maybe I would buy the ones that I really liked.
You go through that sort of, but this is where the companies want it to go, all digital. They don't want to do physical media, and this is, I think, someone made a very good point. Is like with the next gen of consoles, they said that I'm not going to go all digital on them because 20 years down the line, when I want to play Halo Infinite again, at least if I've got a physical disc, I can put it in the machine and play version 1 of it. Whereas if it's a downloaded thing, a digital, there's a potential that I might not be able to re-download it because the servers might be down or something could have happened where you can no longer, for whatever reason, Microsoft has folded and no one bought them out and all their properties are just gone. It's...
What?
I know
what? Microsoft have folded. What are you talking about?
You know what I mean? You know what I mean, though.
Honest, we could have said that back in the day about a couple of different companies, couldn't we? In all honesty.
Yeah. Apple nearly went under, didn't they? long time ago. So there's this potential that if it is just living on a server somewhere, that you might not be able to get it, even if you've paid money to own it. So at least with a physical, you might not be able to get all the updates that have come out for it, but at least you can still play it. And there is this thing like nostalgia. It's like the kids that are going to play these games in their early teens, when they're in their 30s, they're going to be looking back at these games like, oh, I want to play, I want to play Demon's Souls Remastered again. I want to play Miles Morales.
Like me and SSX3.
Exactly. And like me with, like, I mean, like Mario 3D All-Stars is a classic example. Nintendo did the bare minimum to port that over to the Switch, but yet it's top of the charts 2 weeks in a row because people have got this nostalgia for it. And if things are just living in the digital world, there's no guarantee that they're going to be there. Like, I can go out into my hallway, open up my chest of drawers and take out Mario Kart and the Super Nintendo, pop it in my Super Nintendo and start playing.
From behind your bike?
No, it's my bike's next to it. I don't have to move my bike to get into those chests of drawers.
You're a hoarder.
So basically Amazon is now unveiling Luma, which you have to apply to go into the early access for it, and you still have to pay, but you have to actually apply to them and be like, please let me try.
By application.
I mean, it might be suitable for some people, and I guess music industry kind of went this way. Who buys CDs and records and that now? But then again,
it's funny you should say that, because a lot of people now have gone back to vinyl.
Exactly. So I think
it's a big movement in the music industry, buying, collectors vinyl and getting old-fashioned record players and then playing it, in their homes and getting that experience.
I'm sure, given time, the industry will find that balance of where it needs to be, with the digital and physical. I'm sure.
Because I think there's a big enough market for it, to be honest, and at the end of the day, that's capitalism for you. If demand is there, they will do it.
Gaming industry now, it's like it's gone well beyond like the little nerdy spotty teenager sitting in his room playing Centipede.
I'm not a nerdy spotty teenager.
You know what I mean, though.
Grandma.
There was a time when it had that stigma about it, wasn't it? Where it was like, you play games, and now it's
I mean, I think we've gone
one of the biggest industries there is, isn't it?
It is. I think we've gone from it being like, oh, it's just for nerds and you wouldn't tell people, to now it's like gamers are cool, and what a turnaround, in the past 15 years, what a turnaround.
Exactly.
And coders are cool, game developers are cool. It's just, I think the world has sort of fractured into these little areas, and some have become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And gaming is one of those things that I can only see growing forward.
It's because all the computer nerds are now grown up and adults, and all the sports people that like made fun of them at school are now like in traction.
In traction. And we're all in lockdown, so at the end of the day, who's winning?
Okay. Shall we move on?
Yeah, let's talk about Pokemon DLC.
Back. Yes, we had a Pokemon announcement today. I was quite excited. Made sure I woke up in time. It was at 2:00 in the afternoon. I was umming and ahhing whether I should stream this or not, and I thought to myself, no, there's not going to be anything major here. And I was right, there wasn't. But it's still interesting. So basically, the DLC that they announced earlier in the year for the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra. Isle of Armor came out earlier in the year, and we hadn't had any more details about the Crown Tundra. And today they decided to tell us that will be releasing on the 22nd of October, which is good because you couldn't buy one of the DLC by itself. You had to buy the pass to get both of them. So
that's 3 weeks, isn't it?
That's what I'll be streaming then. Hope you guys like Pokemon on my streams.
Do you remember back in the day when we used to play Pokemon Go all day, every day, out on safari on our bikes?
Still do. It's like Pokemon Go is actually like, do you know on the bottom of your iPhone you've got those 4 apps that are there all the time?
Is one of yours Pokemon Go?
Yeah, I've got phone, Pokemon Go, Safari, text.
I bet you don't get many eggs hatched though these days.
Well, they've still, when lockdown happened, Niantic was really nice, and they actually halved all the distances you need to hatch the eggs.
Oh, good.
So it's not as bad as you think. You can I walk to the shops and I can hatch 2 2-kilometer eggs.
Awesome.
So yeah, so they've announced some stuff for the Crown Tundra, which comes out on the 22nd of October. Apparently, you are going to be able to catch every single legendary Pokemon in this game. In these new, we had the, what they called in the first one, the kind of like raids, the dens, where you'd go in a group of 4, you either with a computer or you could do it online with real people to catch like rarer Pokemon. And apparently they've got this thing in there where you actually go into the dens and you work your way through the den to get to a legendary at the end.
Oh, okay.
So that should be quite interesting. Co-op Dynamax Adventure with friends. That's what it's called.
But you don't have any friends besides me.
This is true. And you don't play Pokemon.
Not anymore.
But
No,
you can normally just get randoms online anyway. Whenever I've done it before. So yeah, so there's all that going. And so legendary Pokemon from the past are back. So that's every legendary Pokemon.
Ooh.
I don't think that means because there's legendary and mythical, isn't there? Like Mew,
Yes, yeah.
Like Mew is a mythical Pokemon, whereas Mewtwo is a legendary. So I don't, it's so confusing, isn't it?
It is. I mean, you're a Pokemon expert.
I am. I do like my Pokemon.
I mean, literally 40 years, is it?
No, it came out. We got it really late in Europe. I think it was 1999. So it's only 20 years that it's been available over here. So yeah, and there's also Galarian forms of the legendary birds Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. So yeah.
I like the Articuno.
So, and there's also a duos with a difference where you can team up with any of the bosses that you've encountered in the game before. So hopefully,
are you going to do that?
I'll give it a go. Hopefully there's the Isle of Armor probably took about 6 hours to get through the story. But I wasn't rushing it. So hopefully there's a similar sort of storyline behind it as well. But that is not all. We are also getting limited edition Pikachus with hats.
Whoa, you need that.
Yes, and they've given out codes you'll be getting codes for them. They did actually reveal the first code for the Pikachu with Ash Ketchum's hat on the announcement video today. So head to YouTube, look for that, and you'll be able to get the code.
And listeners will recall how excited you were for the Pikachu inflatable chair.
Yes.
I can only imagine your excitement level for this.
But that's not all we got. Pokemon Go is getting, at last, I've been waiting for this for so long, since Pokemon Home came out, is actually getting, before the end of the year, connectivity to Pokemon Home. So basically that means I'll be able to transfer my Pokemon from Pokemon Go into Pokemon Home and then take them to Pokemon Sword and Shield. And I've been waiting for that for so long.
That's big. Yeah, that's big.
It is. Because it was just my Pokédex will just be almost full.
You are not the only one who's been waiting for this. I can imagine this going down very, very well in Pokemon Land.
It's so annoying because when Pokemon Home first came out, it was one of the things coming soon, connection to Pokemon Go.
Yes, I remember you mentioning it.
The thing with Pokemon Home is it's a subscription service. You have to pay for it. I mean, it's not very expensive. I think it's, it's a little about £10 for a year, around that. I can't remember exactly off my head, but that's the whole reason I wanted it. Just to bring my Pokemon over from Pokemon Go.
It's got to happen.
And yeah, but then they had one more announcement.
Oh.
They did. And it was an animated music video from Bump of Chicken.
Oh.
I thought they said Bum of Chicken when they announced it.
Oh, no, don't.
I thought that is a weird name for a pop group.
Yeah,
but it's actually
strange.
Bump of Chicken. Have done a Pokemon theme. They're a Japanese boy band, I think.
Okay.
Kind of thing. And it's all in Japanese, the song.
I'm more of a rock chick, I have to be honest. And strangely enough, I don't speak Japanese.
No,
so,
they did have subtitles on the bottom, but kind of
not that I have to speak the language that a song is. I like all world music. But for a boy band, it is all about the lyrics, isn't it? Let's be honest.
The lyrics
it's not about the music.
The lyrics
and
didn't.
their looks.
The lyrics didn't really make sense when you're reading the translation. It's like these don't
I think
rhyme at
Japanese
all.
music
It's just weird. So that was the Pokemon news.
Cool.
Essentially,
Let's talk.
that's what I thought it was going to be. Just this is when the Crown Tundra's coming out.
Yeah.
So we
And that's what it was.
Some Animal Crossing.
Yeah, let's talk about Animal Crossing Halloween event, because this is exciting beyond belief. And when I saw this, I just thought about you, and I went into it and I was like, there are pumpkins, there's decorations, there's
that's
costumes.
One of the biggest things is you can actually grow your own pumpkins.
Yeah, you
which
can.
You've never been able to grow stuff in.
Going to be a Halloween night celebration, which will start at 5 p.m. your local time, and there's going to be a mysterious guest named Jack who will attend.
The Pumpkin King.
That's him.
It's grown so tired of the same old. Sorry, I'll stop singing Nightmare Before Christmas now.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah, all your villagers actually all dress up in Halloween costumes.
That's right. Yeah, they're all custom and there's pumpkins everywhere. And, yeah.
And from the update, you can start buying trick or treats, like candies from the shop, and if you give them out, you get like Halloween furniture and things.
Yeah. So, and there is going to be also, as part of this, there are options for revisiting dreams, and there is a Nooklink app update.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on
there
here.
Is. It looks like they've changed the ability so you can choose. So you can have like odd skin tones as well, like blues and greys. You can make yourself look like zombies, and it actually looks pretty good.
It does. And you know what else I just spied right at the end of the announcement of this? It looks like there's going to be a Christmas one too.
Oh yeah, they've always done this, done it intervals.
I was kind of like, this looked different from what I'd seen before.
Yeah, and I think that's what's keeping going to help keep the game alive. I mean, the last update they did with all the fireworks and stuff didn't really do it for me, and I don't think I ever went to any of the firework displays on the Sunday. So I've missed all that. But obviously, with the way the game gets updated now by online updates, it's before you could just time travel and get to these events in like the GameCube version and things like that. Whereas now, if you time travel, you don't get these unless you've got the update kind of thing.
Okay.
So this could potentially keep the game fresh for ever.
Long time.
Forever. Because the amount of copies it sold, it's just in their interest to keep it going.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that actually is tomorrow, the update. September 30th will be the update for Animal Crossing. And speaking of Animal Crossing, Tokyo Game Show announced their game of the year. Like the best game of the year. And it was Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Woohoo!
Which I think is quite a big deal because it's not like a game in the sort of traditional sense of the word. They've actually released a statement, which they said, this is what they said. Because we were forced to stay home due to the COVID-19 pandemic, a slow life experience in this game in which you can do everything freely became a comfort to people all over the world. Communication with close friends through the game and interaction with other players in events went beyond the bounds of a single game, and the game showed the power of entertainment from Japan, acquiring overwhelming support from many users of all ages, from children to senior citizens, in general voting, and won both the award for excellence and the game award for what's that word? Unanimity. Unanimity. I can't
Unanimity.
Unanimity. That's the one. So it'll be interesting when the Game Awards happen here, whether that it transitions over to even be nominated for Game of the Year. Because if you look at game sales and things, it's the highest selling game of this year. It's one of the highest, the speed it sold in that. So I think there's a definite argument to say it should be included in potential Game of the Year talks. But I can see it just being passed over and just being like maybe family Game of the Year, rather
Yeah,
than
possibly.
all over Game of the Year. So I think that's why it's such a big deal that Japan's actually gone round and actually made it like the Game of the Year over everything else that's come out.
Well, I think, this was inevitable, really, given where we've been through lockdown and, the fact that it appealed to living that life online sim, style.
Yeah.
I think this was a no-brainer for me anyway. I wasn't particularly shocked by this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not shock that it's done well. I think it's a shock that it's actually been said that it is the best game that's come out this year.
Yeah,
Like
I
say,
hear you.
it's not a game as such. It's a life simulator kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's no point to it. There's no end goal. There's no anything. You just do what you do.
But we've had no life. That's the point.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, yeah. It's like the situation definitely helped, probably boost the sales. But I think even if we weren't in that situation, it still would have done well.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what happens in the Western world when it comes to the rewards and things. Like, obviously in different parts, just to see if it gets that same sort of recognition. Because it definitely is a good game. And it's definitely given so much enjoyment. And at the end of the day, surely that's all a game should be.
Yeah, sure.
It should make people happy and they should like playing it. Cool. Right. Nintendo
are getting sued.
They're getting sued again over the Switch Joy-Con drift.
So this time it's in France.
Yep.
And obviously local laws are different everywhere. So there's a bit of argument online whether there is a case to answer or not. I think probably in the UK there would be, because the UK law says that an item has to be fit for purpose, and there's an argument there as to whether it is or not. But this Joy-Con drift is an issue that's been known about for a long, long period of time.
Yeah, it's been coming up for a while.
And message boards are full of people who've had exactly the same issue. In fact, who've got several pairs of these, and they're all developed faults, and depending on which territory they're in, they can get a repair or they can get a replacement.
Like America kind of silently said, yeah, people can get them replaced or fixed even if they're out of warranty, but they didn't really make it sort of public.
Yeah, because they're very litigious in the States. Let's be honest. So the case in France is it's to do with planned obsolescence and anti-consumer practices. So the idea is that they know it's not fit for purpose. It's not really they're saying that it's cheaply made and it's a POS basically, and that Nintendo have known about this for a long period of time and done nothing about it. So that's the reason for the case. But the public prosecutor has filed it, and it will go ahead. So I've had a look at the reactions to this online. Some people are going, why? If you buy it, it's kind of like, I think their argument is buyer beware.
Yeah.
It's a known issue, buyer beware. And then other people are saying, well, hold on a minute. They're saying this is a great product. So I can see both sides of the argument, because what they say is if you buy a car that doesn't have a very good reputation, then it breaks. It's kind of your fault.
Yeah.
But if you want a highly engineered, you usually buy German. But if you're buying, I don't know, I don't want to name any names and get sued. But if you're buying a car with a less good reputation and it breaks down, you kind of expect that it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. So, okay, fair enough. But Nintendo are a big player, relatively speaking. So I would expect that anything that they're saying, oh, this is a good product, should be a good product, but it's not, is it? I mean, you've never had this problem, have you? You were saying earlier.
I've never had a problem with Joy-Con drift, and I got my Switch on day of release with the grey Joy-Cons, which just under a year ago I replaced the Joy-Cons just so I could get the purple and orange ones, because I really liked the look of those.
Yeah.
And I just got bored of just the grey. But my grey ones still work fine. And I would I didn't have a Pro controller for probably about the first 3 months of owning it, so they've had quite a bit of use. But yeah, I've never had an issue. Now, on the flip side to that, my white PS4 controller no longer works properly. The analog sticks don't work. It's like I was trying to play Fall Guys with it, and I pushed the stick up, and my character like starts once and just doesn't move sometimes. So it's not an issue that's confined to the Joy-Cons. I mean, I know from surveys and things, the Joy-Cons are failing more often than other products. I mean, Nintendo's always been so good. It's like my Super Nintendo still works from back in the day. Everything I've had from Nintendo works. I've dropped a Game Boy out of a second story window before, and it worked afterwards. You know, basically the battery cover came off, and I went down there, got it, and it works still. You know, that's the story of a Game Boy that survived in Iraq from an explosion and that, and it still worked. So normally they are really, really good. So I think that's one of the reasons why people are, like you say, a bit shocked that this is such an issue. But yeah, it's like, it's not something I've personally ever experienced. So
I think, you know,
so I think
the argument is that this should be, you know, it should be better. That, I mean, at the end of the day, Nintendo are replacing and repairing so many. They must be making money, still making money on it.
Yeah, but
otherwise they'd do something. Although I have seen an argument that, like, if they did something about it, they'd be admitting there was a problem, and they might have to, you know, take it further.
Let's go back to Microsoft, the Red Ring of Death on the PS on.
Yeah,
they paid out loads of money on that. It is
issue, bigger issue, but still similar sort of. Yeah,
but it's kind of. I think Nintendo, like you say, they're just going to be like, well, we'll just ride this out until the next generation, rather than changing it now. And I don't that whole the thing that the word in it, not fit for purpose, and they're deliberately making it to people have to spend money to buy new ones. I think that is totally false.
No, I don't think so. I think they've just. I think they've just outsourced it and had it made cheaply.
Yeah, I mean,
think that's
the actual joysticks, to replace them, you can literally pick them up for a few pound on eBay. They're not expensive components, which I think that is why. Because obviously they want to keep the price of the console down, and that's just what they went for. And unfortunately, after prolonged testing, some people have issues with it, but not everyone. So I think if it was the whole, they're deliberately doing it, then everyone would have issues with it at some point.
Yeah.
It's
unfortunate. Anyway, last story of the day.
Story of the day, and it's a doozy of a story. Okay.
A doozy.
Nintendo has teamed up with Jakks Pacific to bring to life the ultimate It's-a-Me Mario action figure. Kids of all ages can have endless fun with this 12-inch tall Mario, packed with over 30 phrases and sounds and the iconic character's video game history. Listen to phrases like, woohoo, it's-a-me, and many others. With trigger points on Mario's hands, feet, and hat, activating sounds, effects, and phrases. You can even pose him as well. So the picture of the figure's there. I mean, it looks like quite a good figure. But that's not the story. That is not the story. They released a trailer for this. Are you ready to look at the picture?
Okay.
And the story is, what the hell is that sandwich that kid has? Can you, for the podcast listeners, can you just describe this sandwich that kid has?
Right. So this child has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers of bread. Sliced bread, in between which looks like some really revolting cheese and ham and lettuce. The sandwich itself is almost as tall. Yeah,
the sandwich is almost as tall as the 12-inch Mario figure.
Yeah, so this is a 10-inch. So for those working in SI units, it's probably 20 to 25 centimeters tall. Sandwich.
That's like a week's worth of food. I don't even know
whether that's like a septuple decker sandwich.
Don't forget, it's got an olive on top as well.
It does. A stuffed olive, actually. So yeah, it looks like cheese, ham, lettuce, onion, It's probably got mustard in there as well. I would like to think it's got mustard in though. What's that sandwich about?
It's what? The people that made this
Why-
video. We need a sandwich. We want to make sure we can see it.
Why is there a quadruple? Well, like I say,
Why is there about a 3,000 calorie worth sandwich sitting on the table?
Is that his lunch that he's taking to school?
There's no way that the sandwich could eat the kid. Not the
I don't understand what the sandwich has got to do with the action figure.
I know. It's just so bizarre. It's like, there he is. Like, oh, it's a sandwich.
Do you know what? Some ad man just had a really rough day and was like, yeah, I know what will work for this. Get him a sandwich. He looks hungry.
We need what it was like he kept shouting at people, get a sandwich, you need a sandwich, and like 5 people ended up bringing a sandwich, and they were just like, just stack it up.
Yeah, just stack it up. I don't know.
That is absolutely a ridiculous size sandwich. I suggest you look at the video for the Super Mario It's a Me Mario commercial, Jack Pacific.
I don't suggest that you do, because you will fall down the rabbit hole of Nintendo action figures and products, because there is a lot of them. The last one I saw was Bowser's Castle. The princess was imprisoned in there, and there was all sorts of stuff going on. So, don't go there. Don't go there.
You need to see the sandwich.
Yeah, you do actually need to see the sandwich. That's mad. Right.
It's a crazy world we live in.
On the note of the sandwich, I think that's time to wrap it up, Bestie.
Yeah, I need to go make one of those sandwiches.
We're hungry now. I got sticky toffee pudding downstairs. If the boy's not eating it, but I think he's kind of sucked into Xbox. He always says, I've got a question from him actually.
Oh, go for it.
Yeah, so this is the point where you ask the questions.
Yes.
Well, I've got a question.
If you want to ask us anything, please either leave a comment below on the video, or you can get us on Twitter with the hashtag Nintendo Live, and we will get back to you the following week.
So, Boyf watched you streaming Fall Guys and said, how can I get Fall Guys?
He has to buy a PlayStation 4 or have a computer at the moment. At the moment, it's only available on Steam and PS4. It will definitely come to other platforms at some point.
I think so.
Because it was released on PlayStation Plus. It's that whole thing of Sony dishing out some money to get an exclusive for a while, we reckon. There's no official thing has been said, but that's kind of what it is. It's on Steam. I don't really know the system requirements needed to run it. I wouldn't have thought it needs massive stuff to run. I think it's about £20, something like that. Yeah, but so it should come to Xbox. And
I think I need to get at least a couple of more consoles, to be honest, because when our new bed is built, because we're building a bed like out of wood and everything, we're going to have the room which we've got as a spare room now. It's going to be a gaming room, so I feel like a gaming chair.
You never have too many consoles. I need a gaming chair first.
2 or 3, yeah. Let's go shopping for that next week, shall we?
Oh, I can try.
Do you know what? I think that's it.
That is it. So where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter as gamergirl_Miss That's GMRGRL_Miss MISSBRIE. If you chat at me, I always chat back. I'm quite nice like that.
You can find me on Twitter at queso_cheeselits. That's CHEESLITS. Or I stream pretty much daily now on Facebook at elgranqueso74. And I also stream on Twitch from time to time until one of them wants to partner me. And that's Ninqueso.
Do the Batman thing.
Do the Batman thing.
Yeah.
Will the Animal Crossing Halloween update bring undead skeletons to eat your brains?
Ew.
Or will it just be nice and friendly? Find out the questions to these answers next time on Same Badger. I've gone wrong badly. I would tire. Find out these things. Same cheesy channel, same cheesy time.
Actual stories may vary.
I need to prepare myself. Yeah, I do. It's because I just make them up on the spot. I'm going to write one for next week.
All right, you do that. Anyway, say good night, bestie.
Good night, bestie.